Today I'm going to share with you what a billionaire taught me about investing. So last year I met in a very small island in Europe called Cyprus, a billionaire in his 70s who taught me a lot of awesome lessons about investing. He took his first company public in the 80s, and what he taught me about investing is probably not what you're expecting. In the past, you used to go to famous schools like Harvard or, Yale or Stanford or some of those schools to be able to become rich. But now it's not the case. I mean, and is it confidence, arrogance, boldness that allows people to make a lot of money nowadays? Who knows? And the billionaire that I met got no background, barely studied anything. And it reminded me of a guy like Borislav, who is a friend of mine right now. And he's an immigrant, he barely speaks English. And I just saw the dedication of that guy. I saw how hard he's willing to work. And maybe it's something about people from Eastern Europe. They're just like willing to work harder. But he wanted to make it, he really wanted to make it. And I don't know why, but it's so difficult for someone like him who barely speak English. Like for a guy like that, even getting a visa in the US is a struggle. Some struggles are just not in our control. Like if I see someone who's out of shape, and again, maybe he got the disease that I don't know about, but I want to assume that, okay, at least he got some things in his control that he can do and maybe he's not doing. But when there are things outside your control that dictates the way you live your life, it's just frustrating. And back to my billionaire friend and now mentor, you see something in his eyes that it's like the guy's not going to give up. And they're just like almost like people who are just like know that they have a goal or know that there's an outcome that they want to achieve and it's almost done. It's now the rest of the world need to see that. And that's the attitude that I met in my billionaire friend. And that's the attitude I saw in Borislav, the truck driver who now owns a business, a trucking company doing more than 13 million a year. And those stories given me hope, like my billionaire friend or like Borislav that started with nothing, literally nothing. And I don't want to talk about myself, but I'm looking at others that I'm learning from and study and try to help. And there are so many good people out there. And what everyone wants in the end of the day, everyone wants just better income, better lifestyle, so they could make a better impact on their family, friends, community. I never met one person who didn't want to be successful. And then when I asked him, why do you want to be successful? In the end of the day, it comes back full circle. They just want to give back. And a lot of those people in the beginning, no one believes in them. Another thing the billionaire friend taught me is that he just had one person who believed in him. And that was his grandmother. And he told me he didn't need anything more than that because that allowed him to continue after failure and after failure. But unfortunately, there's so many people out there that nobody hears. So I asked my billionaire friend, what do you think? What is possible here? And he told me this. If you find a problem that no one fixed and it's big enough problem, then it can be a huge opportunity, not just for you, but for everyone involved. And that's the best investment opportunity for you and anyone in the world. The best investors in the world are constantly looking for big opportunities, for big problems to solve. If you look at people like Bill Gates, even love him or hate him, but the reason right now is making so much money is because he's just fixing a very big problem that who knows who created.
And what about this internet thing? Do you know anything about that?
Sure.
What the hell is that exactly?
Well, it's become a place where people are publishing information. It is the big new thing.
So my billionaire friend told me this. If you find a big enough problem and you have people you want to help, you need to be the person with the funds. You need to be the person with the capital. And you need to be that person who's investing in those people if you really believe in them. Because my belief is, and maybe just my curiosity, is to always find that part in a person who is willing to be committed, who's willing to do the hard work. And I believe that if someone is committed and disciplined enough and got enough accountability, he can be successful. I'm looking at my billionaire friend, and I met few billionaires in my life. When you meet them, they're not unicorns, they're not aliens, they're just normal human beings who are able to do things long-term with consistency, with hard work, and just step back up again and again after every failure. With pure hustle if needed, right? Because it's not about how many no's you get, it's more about few times that you get a yes. I don't remember who said it, but he said, hey, you only need to be rich once. And understanding that it's a numbers game, and understanding that eventually, like I'm looking at my billionaire friends, after 10, 20, 30 years doing something, trust me, you're going to have more opportunities. It's going to be easier. Your hit rate is going to be much better than when you started. But the question is, are you going to give up in the process? So my billionaire friend convinced me to start a fund, to invest in people like Borislav, to invest in people who want to be committed, to invest in people who maybe no one believes in them. Why? Because I was one of those people as well. And you know, it's not fun. It's lonely. It's sad. And until you become successful, no one believes in you. No one wants to talk to you. And don't get me wrong, we still need to invest not just in great people, but in great companies. And investing is not as easy as people think it is. You need to understand the market size, who's the team, who's the business, what's the business, how it's going to support clients. You need to do the math, to do the digging, understand who's the person you're talking to, because a lot of people just talk big game, but when it comes down to execute, they're not executing. And telling a story really well is not enough in business. So me and my billionaire friend talked about it, and we even discussed, and he told me, hey, right now the distribution of capital is not fair. All the big dollars go to Silicon Valley companies that are being backed by venture capital firms. And if you're not in that circle, you can't get access to that capital. So I don't like it, and I want to change it, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I want to allow everyday person to go out there and raise capital for business, for acquisitions. And that's why on our website it says anyone, anywhere can buy a business. So like my billionaire friend told me, if there's big enough problem, if there's big enough demand, the potential is unlimited. And yes, my job will be to take money from rich people and give them even more money back. But again, moving to my next lesson from my billionaire friend is, we'll be able to go out there, find good deals, good people, and put stress and accountability on them. And when you're thinking about investing, it comes down to looking at the numbers, getting quality reports, understanding what's the trajectory and projection of that business, where the business is going, what the total addressable market is there even an upside for that business or not? Because unlike the public space and investing in public companies, a lot of small business entrepreneurs, they don't update their investors. And you can't be an investor unless you're getting updates on the businesses that you own. That's why we'll take control, we'll be in control, we'll see what's up. Not in control of operations, I'm not here to be anyone's boss. I'm here to make sure that everyone that we're working with will be successful. Everyone will invest in it will be successful and will be accountable. Because if there's no accountability, there's no results, period. Which leads me to my next lesson from my billionaire friend on how to invest. The best investments have the best products, the best services, the most happiest clients. Because in the end of the day, what matters? Customers receiving great product or great service. And yes, don't get me wrong, I still think that the best entrepreneurs have some kind of chip on their shoulder. They work the hardest, they're charismatic, they're willing to put themselves as the front of the business. But I also believe that the underdog sometimes is the most successful one. You know, those are willing to do whatever it takes. Pure hustle, hard work, no work-life balance. If you want to build something massive that will change the world, you can have work-life balance. If you want to go out there and do a roll-up of 100 companies, and I've seen that, you can't have work-life balance. You need to be hustling, working, numbers game, executing, working hard and smart. And when you're able to do that consistently for a long time, you can get to the point, I think the most beautiful place in this world, in living in this world, like my billionaire friend got to, which is just pure bliss, not because you arrived, but because you're at a place that you are only waking up to create an impact and to give back and to do good in the world. Why? Because what else you gotta do? And understanding that the more you help others, the more it comes back to you. That's at least what I figured out in those short years I have in this world so far. Which is whatever knowledge you have, whatever you know, whatever you can, share it, give it back, help others. And when you do that at scale, it all goes back to you tenfold. And comment below, we're gonna do giveaways of gift cards. So the best comment, but you have to be liking and subscribing to the channel. Anyway, I'll see you soon. Hope you got some value. Take care.